Our chalice lighting today is from A Hymn to the Light by David Breeden. Our light is the light of the sun, keeper of all we love. Our light is the light of the earth, provider of sustenance. Our light is the light of all living things, life precious like our own. Our light is the light of each of us, bound together in need and hope. Our light is the light of the cosmos, keeper of all we know. Welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Venice, known as UCUV. I want to announce that we have a special guest today, Jill Wilson from On the Spot Aid, one of UCUV's favorite charities. So please say hi to Jill after the service. Jill, do you want to stand up? There she is. Thank you. At UCUV, we try to center love and welcome and to journey together in ways that affirm and support one another. You are welcome here no matter who you are, as long as you are willing to join in this community of support and caring. We are so pleased that you have chosen to worship with us.
Good morning. Our opening words are from Lynn Harrison. Committed to respond to the call of a wounded world, we join together this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds. Embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth, we light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and with justice. May we bring forth this new day, new wisdom, strength, and courage to create a new world, not of wealth, but of well-being, a world of new peace and abundance for all. As we give thanks for this earth, our shared and singular home, may we dedicate ourselves to its ongoing care, rising to the calls deep within us and all around us. May we respond today and always with courage and with love. Come, let us worship here together. And now we will sing our gathering hymn, Come, come, whoever you are. This is hymn number 188. And it's a good song. 3 times. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come.
These. A UU minister went camping with a friend who happened to be a no-nonsense atheist. They set up camp, pitched their tent, and eventually settled into sleep. A few hours later, not really used to the wilderness, they both woke up. I wonder what you think when you look up at the stars, the minister asked her friend. Well, I think about all the planets and the galaxies, all the natural beauty, the friend said, but not about any of that religious stuff. Why? What are you thinking about when you look up at them? Faith, hope, God? No, the minister said, not really. I actually was trying to figure out who stole our tent. I know, I like it too. Our tent is still here all around us, but it never hurts to be prepared. So this morning's offering will now be given and received.
As a community of human hands and human hearts, we come together here as we struggle with life's sorrows and we celebrate life's joys. If you have something to share, please raise a hand and someone will bring you a microphone. And please keep your comments to under 1 minute.
Good morning. I'll try to keep it under 1. I'm Teresa, and I've been coming here for a couple of years, but I'm sort of new as a real member. Anyway, I think this I'll call a celebration, although question mark. I'm very interested in our congregation having a cups group, which it does not. Some of you are nodding, so you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I will just briefly say This would be pagan, Mother Nature, maybe metaphysical type of group. And I mentioned it to Reverend Amy a couple weeks ago, and she was all like, yeah, but we don't have anybody to lead it. Anyway, this is a strong interest of mine, and after the service, I'm going to go sit on one of the benches under the trees. Anybody who'd like to talk to me about the possibility, please do, or ask me questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time here. My name is Jim, and I teach Buddhism and meditation at the Blue Lotus Meditation Center. And I used to teach here, but we got our own center on Shamrock. But you still welcome our Monk San on Saturday morning, and I'd just like to thank the congregation for doing that for so many years. We really appreciate you. This is the first time I've been to one of your groups. I've been meaning to come, but thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
I know we're not supposed to give announcements at this part of the service, but there is one that I think you might be a little interested in hearing. Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock, we are going to show the movie Singing in the Rain. So if you want to come, 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, right here in the sanctuary.
And I have a quick message. I'm Jean Barlow, and I'm so glad to be here this morning. I want to say a special thanks to some people who helped me in the kitchen today. We have a beautiful table of goodies out there, so I hope you'll partake afterward. Paula Hartley, Eileen, Marcy. I know I'm not supposed to give last names. So anyway, thank you all very much, and those who step up each week to help in the kitchen.
Good morning, I'm Marcia Zurich. I just wanted to acknowledge the wonderful program that we had on Thursday afternoon held by our green team with wonderful speakers, great information from Kim, Olga, and Honor. And there's follow-up slides that summarize the content and ideas for special, what do you call it? Sustainability. Thank you, Olga, for celebration. So it was wonderful, and you can find that content online on our website. Thank you.
And thanks to Marcia, who sometimes, in fact, most mornings, makes gluten-free muffins before she comes to the service.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Martin. My husband Bruce and I have been coming here all season. We'll be leaving in a couple weeks, but I wanted to say thank you to Linda Underwood, who I have not actually met in person, but Linda did all of the coordinating for the shared dinners from January, February, March, and this month, and it's been just an absolute wonderful way to get to know other people in the congregation. So I just wanted to express appreciation for that, because it's a lot of coordination with lots of moving parts every month.
Hi, I'm Kendra, and I'm serving on the welcome table this morning, and I hope I haven't intimidated with my joyfulness a new person who told me this morning he wants to join today, and that's Zoltan. Zoltan, you didn't raise your hand. There he is. He wants to join today, and he will after church. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Zoltan.
Okay, we're Howard and Hart McQueen, and we just popped up in our travel van last night so we could get here today. we've been travelers for the 16 years we've been together, and I know we visited with you before, but I don't know what year that was. But we're now thinking of relocating to Venice, and we've been joining the congregation online for a few weeks, and happy to be in person. And thank you for all the welcome we've already felt.
Welcome, welcome.
Anyone else? Well, may the love of this community hold all who need love and concern. And may the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May those who are grieving be comforted, and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
You tricked us. Our reading is from Thoreau. I love nature, partly because she is not man, but a retreat from him, says Thoreau. None of his institutions control or pervade her. There, a different kind of right prevails. In her midst, I can be glad with an entire gladness. If this world were all man, I could not stretch myself. I should lose all hope. He is constraint. She is freedom to me. He makes me wish for another world. She makes me content with this.
So for our meditation this morning, we'll be watching a video. I invite you to settle into your chair, feel comfortable, focus on your breathing, and as we watch this beautiful video of one of my favorite songs, I think I listen to it every day, think about the wild spaces where you have been and the times that you have connected to nature and felt at peace.
Everybody's finding their own way, yeah. And days feel like years these days. And I've adjusted to the hustle, but sometimes it gets me flustered. Feel like I've been running uphill with no time to recover. Take a breath, slow down, forget the rat race. Cause chances are, my obligations can wait. But there's a place that always calms me down, beyond the shuffle of the crowds, where the lost can be found.
I've been hiking in my boots, I've been searching for some truth. Found it far beyond the blink of the city lights. I've been falling out of touch with the world that has become. So I stepped outside and left it all behind. Towards wild places.
Out here where the creeks run free.
Wild places.
You can find a little piece of peace.
Wild places.
Beneath the treetops and mountain skies.
Wild places.
The world is allowed to thrive.
Wild places.
Where the beasts roam free and far.
Wild places.
Where the stars still pierce the dark.
Wild places.
Take me back to the place it began.
Wild
to
places.
the same place where it ends.
It's been a long time that I've been gone, but I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
We live so close together, yet never felt more separate. Imprisoned in our cell phones, they got us locked up in them. And no question, I've been caught in the tide too. A fiend for these screens like gold for the fools. But I know what to do to free myself from these shackles. The path less traveled takes me back to where these thoughts can unravel. Like a river when it whispers, like a leaf when it falls. If you listen to the stillness, you can still hear the call.
I've been hiking in my boots, I've been searching for some truth. Found it far beyond the blink of the city lights. I've been falling out of touch with the world that has become. So I stepped outside and left it all behind. Towards wild places.
Out here where the creeks run free.
Wild places.
You can find a little piece of peace.
Wild places.
Beneath the treetops and mountain skies.
Wild
where the
places.
world is allowed to thrive.
Wild places.
Where the beasts roam free and far.
Wild places.
Where the stars still pierce the dark.
Wild places.
Take me back to the place it began.
Wild
to
places.
the same place where it ends.
It's been a long time that I've been gone, but I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I reckon it's out here, surrounded by the beyond, that I have learned the most about the world, and even more about myself. Above all else, it has taught me humility. I have discovered that I will never be a conqueror of mountains or a tamer of rivers, for I do not own this wilderness, but I can say that I will always belong to it.
We are going to be singing a hymn that may be unfamiliar to you today, so we like to learn new things. Lisa's going to play it through for us so we get the sense of it, and then we'll give it a whirl. It's number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Touch the earth and reach the sky. Walk on shores while spirits fly. Over the ocean, over the land. Are they the quest who understand? Touch the earth and reach. job.
No, it's okay. Y'all did a really good job, though. I mean, for like a really good job. Now we're gonna watch a video.
Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to get away from everything, everyone, would you do it or just let it slip? Yo.
Now, Walden might not have been a Times bestseller, but we learned plenty from his lessons, so let me tell ya. Its impact on the culture will be felt, but not till 20 years after it hit a shelf. See, most people live their lives half asleep, doing what they're told, functioning like sheep. But Henry David Thoreau was determined to be different, so one day he made a life-altering decision. He would live 2 years in a cabin in the woods, far from anything that was happening. No phone, no one could contact him. No interactions meant no distractions. He could focus on the beauty of nature, strengthening his spirit, becoming complete. Eating to live instead of living to eat, while living in a mental prison when you can be free. This experiment would teach him true existence. Reading, farming, learning, and fishing. No talking, just listening. Nothing brings focus quite like distance. The time would prove to be influential. He'd find deep meaning in the seemingly simple. And like magic wave from a wand, everything changed on Walden Pond.
When the world gets you down, there's a place you can go. Back to Walden Pond like Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no internet or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone. When the world disappoints you, there's a place you can go. Marching to a different drummer, Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no radio or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone. Cabin life was peaceful, nature over people. Nobody's deceitful, everything was equal. No food, he wasn't making a scene. He just planted and tended 2 acres of beans. He developed 2 distinct personas, hermit and poet, no strangers to drama. They would argue about what he was there for, rearranged everything he thought he cared for. The poet would conjure up visions of past residents of the cabin that he lived in. Poor tradesmen, runaway slaves, in their company is where he spent most days. He preferred solitude, just being alone, not gazing or staring at a phone. With his environment, he formed a strong bond as seasons passed on Walden Pond. When the world gets you down, there's a place you can go. Back to Walden Pond like Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no internet or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone. When the world disappoints you, there's a place you can go. Marching to a different drummer, Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no radio or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone.
Now, Walden might not have been a Times bestseller, but we learned plenty from his lessons, so let me tell ya. Its impact on the culture will be felt, but not till 20 years after it hit a shelf. See, most people live their lives half asleep, doing what they're told, functioning like sheep. But Henry David Thoreau was determined to be different, so one day he made a life-altering decision.
When the winter months close in, and the lake outside is frozen, he takes a stick and pokes holes in, just to see how deep the lake goes. 100 feet, but as it starts to get late though, Irish workers cut cubes to take those to sell. First he's upset at all of it, now everyone will get a piece of Walden.
A crack in the roar, the ice starts thawing, leaves turn green, and birds start calling. Summertime is here, I suppose, so the Walden experiment comes to a close. A whole 2 years of intense self-discovery, probably needed another year for recovery. But, yo, he left us with lessons. Meet your life head on, be aware of your blessings.
So much potential untapped. Once it's over, you can't come back. Any sort of fear or resentment will diminish when you find your fulfillment in life. Don't chase riches, find truth, live life to the full extent. Gotta give it 110%, cause you only get one. When it's gone, it's gone. One of many lessons learned on Walden Pond. When the world gets you down, there's a place you can go. Back to Walden Pond like Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no internet or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone. When the world disappoints you, there's a place you can go. Marching to a different drummer, Henry David Thoreau. Living in the woods with no radio or phone. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days all alone.
Cool video, right? Marsh is not swamp. Marsh is a space of light where grass grows and water flows into the sky. Slow-moving creeks wander, carrying the orb of the sun with them to the sea, and long-legged birds lift with unexpected grace, as though not built to fly, against the roar of 1,000 snow geese. Then within the marsh, here and there, true swamp crawls into low-lying bogs, hidden in clammy forests. Swamp water is still and dark, having swallowed the light in its muddy throat. Here there are sounds, of course, but compared to the marsh, the swamp is quiet, because decomposition is cellular work. It decays, it reeks, and returns to the rotted duff, a poignant wallow of death begetting life. These are the opening words of the book Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Who's read or watched the movie Where the Crawdads Sings? Good. It's one of my favorites. It's a tale of a young girl who's abandoned by her mother at age 7. And one by one, each of her siblings depart, leaving Kaya alone with her father, who is an abusive alcoholic, and he spends most of his days away from the isolated shack. Their only neighbors are the wildlife of the marsh. The people in town call Kaya Marsh Girl because they see her as feral and wild, dirty and uneducated. They are mean to her, and they call her white trash. Despite being labeled, shunned, and harassed by the townspeople, Kaya is never ashamed of the marsh. Why would she be? The marsh taught Kaya about life. In spite of everything trying to stomp it out, life persists, Kaya shares. Way out yonder, where the crawdads sing, the marsh knows one thing above all else. Every creature does what it must to survive. She fends for herself throughout her life. She finds food to eat, and she sells mussels to pay for gas to put in her father's boat so she can go to the store for more necessities. Somehow surviving in her isolation even after her father left for good when she was 10. Officials from the courts would sometimes come out to the island and try to take her to an orphanage or get her to attend school, but she didn't want to live in town or go to school with the kids who teased her every time she came into town. And her parents left her to live a life of solitude and self-reliance, and therefore she did. Henry David Thoreau was much older. He was in his late 20s when he chose a life of solitude, a life away from the complications of the city and humans. So I was introduced to Transcendentalism in 10th grade by my English teacher at Captain Shreve High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. In case you're wondering where that accent comes from, there it is. So over the past 30 years, I've discovered that not everyone is introduced to Thoreau in high school. I thought it was just a common thing for you to learn about Thoreau and Emerson and the Transcendentalists, but it's not. The Great Gatsby and Romeo and Juliet and Animal Farm, those are the books that most kids are reading in school. They don't so much know about Walden, Thoreau's memoir of his time in the woods. Many Unitarian Universalists are very familiar with Transcendentalism, but not all. And people who are new to Unitarian Universalism or who don't participate in church, like most of my friends and my family and strangers that I've met, they have no idea what I'm talking about. It is, after all, a philosophy that sprung from the minds of New England intellectuals in the mid-1800s. And in my opinion, the writing can be a little bit challenging at times, and it's difficult to make sense of. So I thought maybe I would break it down a little bit the core beliefs of Transcendentalists in two parts. The first part is idealism and the divinity of nature. Emerson, Thoreau, Margaret Fuller, others, they rejected the theory that before any concept can be understood, it must be proven and explained, existing outside the mind. They rejected that. They believed that there were experiences that could be acquired through intuitions of the mind, and that every idea has its source in natural phenomenon. The attentive person can see those ideas and symbols that are found in nature. Intuition allowed the Transcendentalists to disregard external authority, what they're told by others, and to rely instead on their direct knowledge that comes from within us. According to these preachers and writers, we can connect with divinity and understand those symbols simply by accepting our own intuitions about God and nature and experience. These insights, they argued, need no external verification. The mere fact that they flash across in our mind proves that they are true. Everything Kaya knew about life was absorbed through her direct experience of the marsh. Through her imagination, she recognizes the beauty of nature, and she lives a higher spiritual life, more connected to God or source, perhaps, than those searching for the answers to life in the pages of the Bible or in the pews of the church. The second piece is self-reliance, individualism, nonconformity. Essentially, you do you. Trust your own beliefs over those of others. Think for yourself. Listen to your inner voice and challenge the influence and the rules set by society. You'll see how that fits into our Unitarian Universalist theology a little bit there. We're some rule breakers. We think for ourselves. Kaya refused to conform to the ways of society. Consequently, like I'd mentioned, she was vilified and she was forced to live separate and far away. Thoreau also refused to conform to the ways of society, not only when he isolated himself at Walden Pond, but also when, in an act of civil disobedience, he protested slavery by no longer paying his taxes. Being a self-reliant, nonconformist was key to the Transcendentalists. They believed a person was unable to be truly happy and fulfilled if they were not intentionally thinking for themselves, if they were just blindly following the status quo. Additionally, our society would not succeed unless we all lived a fulfilled life, aware that we are not separate. We are not separate from one another, and we are not separate from nature. We're connected. We're interdependent. As a high school student, I grabbed onto Emerson's quote, "Conformity is death." I was with my dad this morning because my printer wouldn't work, so I had to go down to my dad's house and print my sermon out, and he was sitting next to me, and I told him that, and he had the same reaction. He's like, "Oh, I remember. Because being a nonconformist became a huge part of my identity, and the idea that you can find God in nature was huge. When I attended, I want to just mention this. When I attended my first UU church in Shreveport, Louisiana, the thing that struck me most when I walked in, well, one, they were playing the Beatles, which was awesome. But the second thing, being raised Baptist, Southern Baptist, at that, is when I walked in, the whole back of the church was just glass windows, like y'all's church here. And it wasn't the stained glass blocking out the outside. It was our ability to look outside. And at the church in Shreveport, it was a very dense wooded area. And it was the perfect combination of the natural world and the world of man. It felt like there just was not a separation. I went back to Louisiana to spend time with my family on my brother's houseboat one summer, and we were anchored near a small wooded island on a beautiful lake, and we stayed there for several days, swimming and playing and eating and just being together, exploring, and there was no cell phone reception. None. For 4 days. There was no Wi-Fi, there was no internet, no technology except for a CD player. And I'm not sure how many times we listened to Willie Nelson's greatest hits that summer, but it was a lot. It was a lot, but it was blissful to be 4 days disconnected from all of the other stuff. I was able to live in the moment, to be surrounded by nature, be a part of nature, and not be distracted by or connected to the demands or the busyness of life. In October, I moved into a little house between Punta Gorda and Arcadia, and I live on Shell Creek, which is off of the Peace River, and I feel like the marsh girl now. I truly do. I hang out with alligators and manatees, catch blue crabs and catfish, and I just spend hours listening to birds and feeding my squirrels. I have a very good relationship with numerous squirrels out there. I'm growing native plants now to see how I can help our Florida from being decimated. And I study creation. It's my little piece of peace on the Peace River. So at the end of the video, the last video we watched, there was this quote, and I'm going to read it to you again. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. It is one of his most famous quotes. On that muddy bank when I was in Louisiana, I felt one with the water and with the sky and with the earth, and I felt truly alive. I am a Southerner. The South I experienced and learned about in history books is made up of people with a deep connection to the natural world. My South is a magnolia tree in my grandparents' yard that I would climb as my brother fished in the bayou behind their house with a cane pole. My South is my mom. I mentioned this to my dad this morning too. My mom passed away a few years ago. My South is my mom picking purple whole peas and turnip greens from the garden. My South is hide and seek in cotton fields, catching crawfish in ditches, and listening to the sound of cicadas loud enough to replace thoughts of anything else. I think 19th century New England Transcendentalism makes a lot of sense in my South, in Kaya's South, and in what we know to be true, that there are lessons to be found in the natural world, away from the messiness of humans. And as Thoreau said, living in each season as it passes, breathing the air, drinking the drink, tasting the fruit, and resigning yourself to the influence of the earth. And where the Crawdads Sing, Kaya only attends school for 1 day. She does go for 1 day. And when she's 14, Tate, who was friends with her brother before he left, starts visiting her and teaching her how to read. And she learns through Tate's teaching. But she also learns that the marsh has been teaching her. She learns biology. She learns about the flora and the fauna, and she captures a variety of the intricately, she draws these pictures in the book, or if you've seen the movie, she draws pictures, and she eventually gets published because of her watching and studying, being in nature. But she also learns life lessons from the book. Sometimes she heard night sounds she didn't know, or jumped from lightning too close. But whenever she stumbled, it was the land that caught her. Until at last, at some unclaimed moment, the heart pain that she had felt seeped into the sand. Still there, but deep. Kaya laid her hand upon the breathing, wet earth, and the marsh became her mother. This quote comes after she heals her foot from an injury, and she uses natural remedies that her mother had taught her before she left. Kaya is still longing for the comfort and the solace and the companionship of her mother. But in her absence, Kaya turns to the marsh. She gets comfort from an eagle when she's frightened of getting lockjaw, and she rejoices with the land when she is healed. Heads back towards the beach where she's injured, proud of herself, and her courage was restored. Though Kaya misses her mother tremendously, after months pass without words from her, she turns to the marsh to heal her mother's absence as it healed the wound on her foot. She learns to move through the ache of her absence and rely on the marsh to parent her. She is connected to that world that words cannot truly capture. It is sacred. It is bigger than words. The marsh is a loving parent taking care of her, and the Transcendentalists would call this God. Kaya's mother did take her to church a few times, but she didn't remember church, and she didn't remember how to pray. That is, she didn't remember how to pray as they had taught her how to pray in the church. The Transcendentalists would argue that she was actually closer to God in the marsh than she was in church, listening to boring ministers, not me, of course, but who preach the doctrine rather than faith. So according to Emerson, the happiest man is he who learns from nature the lessons of worship. The happiest man is he who learns from nature the lessons of worship. In his 1838 address to the senior class of the Harvard Divinity College, he said, "Faith should blend with the light of rising and setting suns, with the flying cloud, with the singing bird and the breath of flowers." Emerson thought worship, did I say Ralph Waldo Emerson? I did not say his full name, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thought worship services had lost the splendor of nature. They haven't here, though. This is great that y'all have this here. And because of this, folks were glad when the preacher stopped preaching and they could go home. Again, that has nothing to do with our sermon today. So my family, another thing I shared with my dad this morning, we stopped going to our Baptist church when we got our own houseboat. And my dad, who honestly never really enjoyed going to church, my mom made him go, I think that he was more motivated to not go to church because he got to wear a swimsuit on Sunday instead of dress pants. He was very transcendentalist in his statement, and it taught me a philosophy that I appreciated even more later in life as I reflected on the time that I got to spend roaming around cotton fields and woods and lakes and bayous. I truly, truly appreciate nature now and the solitude in nature. It allows us to hear what our hearts beat for. So many of us are on a constant hamster wheel, feeling overwhelmed or anxious, or just busy doing things, doctor's appointments, scheduling things, trying to deal with family, working this. We're overwhelmed, and we tend to be disconnected from spirit and extremely connected to technology. We have allowed technology to shape us into people who expect immediate responses from emails. We truly do. We need immediate responses to text messages, voice messages, all of that, which it drives me nuts. I leave my phone at home a lot of times because I do not like to be connected all the time and expect to respond all the time at that moment. One of my favorite Emerson quotes is, "Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience." Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. We are not always a patient people. Both Kaya and Thoreau adopted the pace of nature, living off the land and away from people. It's very difficult for me to imagine that a child could survive alone as long as Kaya did. But it certainly makes for an interesting story, and one that points out how much she did long for human companionship, even after being hurt by Tate, because he eventually hurt her. When he went off to college, he left her. He said he'd come back, and he didn't. Thoreau, on the other hand, was an adult. So he chose to go into the woods and live alone for 2 years. Now, he wasn't completely without human contact. I don't know if folks know that, but he did have some neighbors who would come and visit with them, and they would talk and engage with one another. And he had to go into town for supplies, obviously. He needed some things. But on the most part, he was in the middle of the woods living in solitude. Walden was an experiment. Thoreau's time away from the city gave him the wisdom that we can all learn from, specifically the importance of listening to our inner voice and taking time for introspection and self-reflection. Solitude is not loneliness. We can be surrounded by people and still feel very alone. And isolation isn't necessarily solitude either, as we learned during quarantine. I was in my apartment alone, but I occupied my time with social media and talking to people and television and music, and I was reading. All of these things, I guess Thoreau would say, were distractions that were prohibiting me from my true self-discovery. And he's right. It's a lot of distractions to keep our mind busy instead of just reflecting on what's going on inside of us. Kaya lives in complete isolation, and she experienced solitude almost every single day. And she felt that deep awareness of self that comes from that. In my South, there too exists these opportunities to connect, to be still, and to realize that we are not apart from nature, but we are a part of nature. Like our seventh principle says, we are a part of the interdependent web, which is sacred. Spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle says, and he sounds very transcendentalist when he says this, "Only when we are still inside do we have access to the realm of stillness that rocks and plants and animals inhabit. Only when our noisy minds subside can we connect with nature at a deep, deep level and go beyond the sense of separation created by excessive thinking." Nature can bring you to stillness, and that is its gift to you. May it be so. And our closing hymn is Find a Stillness, number 352. Please join in singing as you are willing and able. Our benediction is by Michael Schuler. We have reached the end of our time. For the gathering of memory and for letting the imagination play with future possibilities, we have enjoyed magic moments and edified each other. Shall it be concluded then? Or will this adventure, now commenced, continue? Our separate paths converging and meeting and merging. That's funny. Did I mention that I used my father's printer this morning? Here we are in the unending quest. Thank goodness for fathers. For love more perfect, the joyous struggle for meaning more sufficient, and life more abundant. And this ending, to be an ending, is it going to be an ending, or is it merely a prelude to new, more glorious beginnings? I pose this question, in your heart lies the answer.